Good evening. Welcome to the reality show. First of all, before we start, our guest tonight is our most luminary guest we have on this show, Brother Ali Reid. But just before we start tonight, I want to apologize to our listening audience. I know you were looking for us and we were not there. Well, I had to take a sojourn. I had to go to Trinidad to attend a conference to present a paper on alternative dispute resolution and human rights. And that had me off the island. And the law school, you know, I'm about to go on sabbatical. And the law school places a heavy demand on my time, and I was unable to record last week, and I want to apologize to Mr. Jones and to our listening audience for not being able to bring reality to you. Because, you know, we love you people. You are people. And everything we say here about the empowerment of us as a people. And when we slip and fall, we let you down. And Brother Ali, I apologize to you.
Yes, sir.
And the Congress as well, because, you know, I got to be stronger. And I got to make more efficient use of my time. But Brother Ali, tonight, I've been reading the papers, and I want to raise a topic with you. You know, Brother Malcolm said that land is the basis of all independence. In a speech, he spoke to the, I don't know where he made the speech, it might be in Detroit. He spoke about the word revolution and how people should be careful about using that word, because the word revolution really has some fiery implications. You know, people fight for land. The basis of all revolutions that have been fought on this planet in the last 200, 300 years have been for land. The French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the Grenadian Revolution, the Cuban Revolution, the Mau Mau, and now here in the Bahamas, the Bahamian Revolution. We're fighting for land. And land has become the focus of discussion amongst the politicians. There's been a recent committee of inquiry to investigate the grant of crown lands from 1992. Now, before we go on, and I'm gonna throw this open to you, Brother Ali, but 1992 is the wrong place to start. I heard my good friend, the minister, Brother Byron Woodside, and you know, he's my good friend. He's a former student, and he's a brilliant mind. And I don't mean to disrespect him, but you know, in our clinic, I wasn't able to impart my knowledge of land law to him, because we don't have a lot of land law opportunities and conveyancing opportunities in our clinic. But his historical rendition was a little misleading. And for us to get to the roots of crown land, we got to go when that first pirate Columbus came to the Bahamas and thieved the people land. And we got to go back to when the British came and seized the land and put slaves on it. And then when the slaves went and occupied that land with their blood, sweat, and tears, the Constitution preamble talks about it. You know, these rocks and shoals, this little 2x4 we have called the Bahamas. When our ancestors went on that land and possessed it, you know, Mr. Pinlan saying there's more land to be possessed. When they possessed it, crown grants of those lands began to be given away. Grand Bahama, you know, I heard people praising the ex-criminal, because he was an ex-convict, Groves, for the creation of Freeport. Well, Freeport is a disaster. You can see what's happening right now. They have a mono model of agricultural development. And historically, land grants have been made on every island throughout this Bahamas. And we need to investigate that. We need to start with Columbus, Brother Ali, I think. And I just want your take on it, because, and I'm sorry in the introduction to the program taking so much time, but you know, it's something that's passionate to me. I think land is the basis of our struggle for survival as a people, and I just want to know how you feel about the question of land in the Bahamas, the Caribbean, and Africa, and even in the Americas, North America and South America.
You know, Brother Hannon, I have a philosophy, or I've heard from what I've learned from those who have studied and traveled much more extensive than I would even dream of doing. They said after we were stolen from Africa, those when the captors went back and stole Africa from the remaining of us, that I believe.
Yeah.
And if you look at the gold, diamond mines that exist today, it is still owned by those who stole us.
Rhodes them.
Yeah, stole
Man who
us
gone, say, from the Cape to Cairo.
Yeah, from Africa. But my dilemma is, and my religion, to a certain extent, that which I believe, started for me with slavery. Because we as a people came here. And as I often you say, you could bring a dog in here that you just beat the hell out of outside. But that dog would be obedient to you in here because you are the only person the dog knows. We came here without any choice. We had to accept a religion that was imposed upon us and many other things. However, as you said, land from the time of Columbus on down. We were like cattle. We were owned by somebody else, so we couldn't even talk about ownership of land.
That's right.
Now,
That's right.
the thing that bothers me is now that we have risen to be majority rule, what have we really done? We've inherited a religion that was imposed upon us. We also had laws or bylaws or traditions, so to speak, that the colonial master had in place, and it was to protect him. And what we done now, we have adopted that in such a way that we are carrying on the tradition. So right now, I would say I lay blame on, for example, those who continue the tradition, whomever they may be, since we say we are emancipated, we are free, we are majority rule. You know?
But sorry to laugh, Brother Ali, but I mean, freedom is a state of mind. If you don't control your resources, you're a slave. And you may not work on the fields plantation, but you work in the hotel plantation. This is a country, after 36 years of independence, we don't control the tourist economy, and we have, our economy is driven, our whole lifeblood is tourism. And we don't control it. We don't even have a stake in it. The slaves are still the slaves. I mean, I hate to laugh, but it's a laugh of, instead of crying. I think part of our problem, you know, Brother Ali, we being seduced. We being seduced badly. I mean, you know, Curtis Mayfield had a song. You know, when the Indians in America or the Native Americans in America were wiped out, they didn't have any, when their land was stolen, they didn't have any Native American lawyers at the time. Now, the land has been taken from the African people as slaves, when we were made slaves, and we didn't have lawyers at that time. Now, Brother Ali, we do have lawyers. So, in a way, it means we are not training our lawyers properly, because our lawyers should, first of all, have a self of identity. The University of the West Indies, when I attended it, I can't speak to it now, but they required that we study West Indian history. And we didn't just study it, we lived it, because we were going through a period of history when the Bahamas was seeking independence, when Jamaica had just gotten the independence a decade earlier, and Trinidad as well. But we were in a vibrant era where there was a sense of nationalism in the Caribbean.